Look, I thought, because this opportunity will only come to me once, I'd talk a little bit about the award structure in the awards as they operate out of Wandi, just so that, because a number of you may not have heard or be aware of the whole range of them. I wanted to say that each group has an awards subcommittee. In our case, we have an awards subcommittee that's chaired by Alan Roberts. And they make recommendations to the committee, which, depending on the nature of the recommendation, we pass it on. Wawa makes provision for 3 levels of award. The base is the certificate of appreciation, which has typically in the past, every time you gave a demo, you got a piece of paper saying, "We appreciate you giving a demo." Our committee, our awards committee this year thought that's probably cheapening the whole notion of appreciation, and we're going to up it a bit, and we'll change from the piece of paper. I don't know about you lot, but I've got thousands of pieces of paper that's appreciating something or other, to something that's more tangible that you can put there and say, "Look, I was recognised." So this year around, we've put in place a plaque system, and we've upgraded the notion of what constitutes our appreciation. So you might get a bottle of plonk for your demo, but you're unlikely to get a certificate. But if you do something better than a demo, you may cop a certificate. We have a number of awardees tonight. The next level, of course, is the Merit Award. We have no nominees this evening, but typically the Merit Award is a group decision passed on to Wawa for endorsement, and it goes it is then made at a club level. The level above that is life membership, which is the President's committee to act. A group of life members accept nominations and make a decision based on that. I should say that anybody in the association can nominate anybody else in the association for an award. So any one of you, if you think somebody's worthy of an award, can make a nomination. The expectation is that the citation accompanies that, a wording saying why you think that's the case. A number of people have been reticent about putting the citation together, but there will be people around that can help you to do that. But if you have an inkling to say, well, that person ought to be, you pass it through to the awards subcommittee, and it goes from there. There are a couple of other awards within the structure. The Eniaba accolade is the President's only award. It's in recognition by the President of somebody who has made a particular contribution, usually helping the President out in carrying out the role. That's a one-off award made occasionally. George has got a chance coming up when he finally steps down in the next century. Now, within our group, distinctive, we have a Jack De Vos award. Some of you were fortunate to have known Jack. I knew him very briefly, and I thought I'd comment on my knowledge of him. I'd been away from WA for 30 years, and we were looking to buy a Jarrah dining table. Walked down the street in High Street, and in there was whopping big Jarrah vase. There were 2 or 3 of them. Turn it over, beautiful, elegant, light, lovely finish, nice to look at, nice to touch. Turn it over, Jack De Vos. And that was my first encounter with Jack. I subsequently saw a number of wood-turning, world examples of quality turning, saw a number of Jack's works on display. I've got a YouTube collection now of about 25 of these, bowls, platters and vases. My next encounter was over the road here, where those workshops, remember those workshops, Alan, that you used to organise? The Wawa used to run workshops for skills enhancement. Jack was running the one that I attended. He's not here, but I think Chris Gray was.
Jack and Gordon and Robbie.
Yeah. Jack ran the one that I attended. I think Chris Gray was his backup on the day. And I stuffed up, I was making as I usually do, stuffed up something. Jack came along and said, why don't we just do this? Picked up a chisel and then bounced it around the edge of them. An enormously skillful turner.
Some of us do that all the time.
And subsequently, he and Gordon used to do demos across the road, the repartee being great, but the demo themselves were remarkable as well. There are two that I remember distinctly, one with a whopping big piece of jarrah, maybe this size, stuck on the lathe, deep hollowing, a chisel that looked like a crowbar that had the end sharpened, straight in and out. Jack was a production turner, so let's not waste time getting the waste out. And I remarkable, not on that lathe either, on one of the others, remarkable demonstration of talent. Another one was just an exquisite little box that he made for his granddaughter, I think. So it was no surprise that we selected Jack to, when we were running, I was acting co-convener with Rod, we selected Jack to be our key demonstrator at the AGM workshop back in 2015, 2016, back then anyway. I was away in Vietnam doing some work, and I got an email from Rod saying he'd just been notified by Jack that he was ill, and that he wanted to withdraw, and by the time I came back, Jack was, well, shortly thereafter, he was no longer with us. An enormous loss to the public, an enormous loss to the wood turning community. And when I went looking, we hadn't been recognised in any way by the wood turning community. I was really disappointed, shocked, surprised by that, and together Rod and I whipped up the notion of a Jack De Vos award. We wanted something to have his legacy put firmly in place so that his work was not forgotten. And those of you who remember Jack would appreciate that that was an important thing to do. So the Jack De Vos award is something commemorating the presence of Jack as a wood turner, but also as a Wandi member. He was a very good Wandi member. So certificates of appreciation, Jack De Vos award this evening. I've got the honour of reading the citations, which I didn't write, and Alan, as chair of or convener of the awards committee, will make the presentation. Have we got somebody to photograph the whole thing?
Going to do it afterwards over at the sign.
Pardon?
We're going to do it afterwards at the sign.
All right. Oh, over there.
Yeah.
Good enough. So, Alan, you'll get a chance to comb your hair beforehand. All right. I'll go alphabetical order. We have 4 people that we're going to recognise for a certificate of appreciation. When you hear who they are, you'll recognise that the committee has done a bloody good job in identifying who they were. I'm going to progress alphabetically. Don't know how you got them there, but starting with, surprisingly, Emma Bask.
Oh.
Let me read the citation.
You've got to wait for the citation.
Yeah, you've got to repeat it, Alan. Emma initially joined the Wandi group to become a wood turner, but quickly showed she was of many skills and was prepared to share them. Since joining us, she has introduced a private Wandi Facebook and her own private YouTube. Additionally, she is highly qualified in both photography and audio-enhanced videos, a talent applied many times. A busy person on many fronts, she has proved a valuable asset to our group. She is well worthy of her certificate of appreciation. Well done, Emma. Right. The next one, surprisingly, is Fran Green. That Fran has been secretary, she has been outstanding in her duties. I can think of no better secretary in the association then or now. Committee minutes are now well presented, easy to understand and circulated on time. In addition to her secretarial duties, she's undertaken numerous extra responsibilities, such as the weekend workshop and secretary to the public events officer. All activities she has excelled at, including the morning teas for the week time demonstration. She is well deserving of a certificate of appreciation. And one of her many unrecognised but extremely important talents is looking after Jeff Green, who is our next recipient. Thank you. Right, Jeff. Throughout his time with the Wandi group, Jeff has worked hard in his efforts to assist in the running of the group. He attends both the Monday morning and Wednesday evening subgroups. He has also had to learn new skills, which he has done willingly, as some of us can tell with great feeling. At the 225 Wandi weekend workshop, he undertook a roving role which greatly assisted in its success. He deserves the certificate of appreciation awarded this evening. I'll look after that. Thank you, Jim. And finally, but certainly not least, Sheila Roberts.
Woohoo!
Initially now associate member of the association, Sheila has made many contributions in many ways, not often recognised or visible, not only to the group, but to the Wawa committee also. Her credits include 2 years as secretary to the Committee of Management. She has demonstrated the wood turning at the Royal Show on many occasions, and also works each year on the desk at the Wandi weekend workshops. Both activities she will continue. She is extremely deserving of the certificate of appreciation. Now, we've come to the Jack De Vos Award. The terms of the Jack De Vos Award recognises the person who's made a major contribution to the activities of the group, not specified to any year, but just made a major contribution. Initially when we wrote the regulations, we would give a certificate with a citation, but particularly, and Alan, you might pull away the towel, the notion also that the recipient received some object turned by another member of the association to recognise the granting of the award. We've subsequently decided to add a plaque. you might hold that up, Alan, because which can be hung on the wall, and really, that one is a beautifully done one, George. Who did that?
The Artifactory Relays guy.
Yes, it's beautifully done. Anyway, the Jack De Vos Award this year goes to member 2214, who's in the audience, and it's Bill Younger.
Woo!
Bill Younger, member number 2214, joined Wandi in 2006, and since then has worked tirelessly on behalf of the group. Bill has served as Wandi convener, Wandi committee member, and for a number of years also served on the Wawa Committee of Management. Over the years, he has represented the group as a frequent demonstrator at weekend workshops and at the Royal Show, and continues to demonstrate to the Wandi membership at group meetings. He spends much of his time advising and teaching new turners at the hands-on sessions, and actively supports and encourages all other turners regardless of their experience. He gives his time willingly to busy bees, helps out at weekend workshops, and is always there at group activities. He is generous with his skills, knowledge and tools, and his advice on all aspects of wood turning is actively sought by members. Bill exhibits all the attributes of an excellent group member, always there, ready and willing when something needs to be done, in the spirit of Jack De Vos, I might add. Bill Younger is a credit to the group and is a fitting recipient of Wandi Woodturners Jack De Vos Award for 2025. Well done, Bill.
Woohoo!
You do. Humble pie is shared out. Humble pie. Okay, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Thank you. That's me done.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.